Hidden in plain sight, some of the rarest and most valuable Jefferson nickels have quietly slipped into circulation. And today, we're uncovering the secrets behind these ultra-rare coins that could be sitting right under your nose. Watch till the end, because you won't want to miss the incredible value these coins could have in your collection. In the quiet jingling of pocket change, history sometimes hides in plain sight. A humble nickel, clinking against keys and coins in a drawer, might seem insignificant, just another piece of currency. But now and then, a coin like the 1972 USA 5-cent piece minted in Denver, marked by the tiny D under Monticello, emerges from the shadows to tell a far richer tale. This isn't just a nickel. It's a story, frozen in time. A gateway to the past. A relic from a chapter of American life that was both turbulent and transformative. It was the year 1972. America stood on the precipice of change. The Vietnam War was dragging on, casting long shadows across the national consciousness. The Apollo program had just left its final footprints on the moon. The Watergate scandal simmered just beneath the surface, waiting to erupt. The United States, though weary, pressed forward into a decade of evolution, socially, politically, and economically. Amid this backdrop, coins continued to roll out of the mint, seemingly mundane but quietly echoing the larger story of the nation, among them, the Jefferson nickel. Introduced in 1938, the coin had become a mainstay in American currency. Its designer, Felix Schlag, won a national competition to see his vision immortalized in American pockets. His design bore the refined likeness of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, etched with dignified precision. On the reverse, his beloved home, Monticello, stood etched in neoclassical symmetry, a testament to the man's architectural passion and Enlightenment ideals. By 1972, Schlag's design had aged into familiarity. Millions handled Jefferson's stoic gaze every day without pause. Yet the Denver minted version of that year, struck at the heart of the Rocky Mountains, would prove to have secrets of its own. While the Denver Mint produced over 351 million nickels in 1972, not all were created equal. Among them were specimens so pristine, so unique, or so laden with minute imperfections that they would one day become prized by collectors across the globe. The 1972 D nickel was forged from a composition that had become standard by then, 75% copper and 25% nickel. A silvery hue with a muted luster, resilient in the face of decades of circulation. It weighed 5 grams. Just 5 small grams, yet it bore the weight of history and artistry alike. Its diameter, 21.2 millimeters, was exact, cut with the kind of precision that only a mint operating on industrial scale could offer. Still, for all its uniformity, anomalies slipped through. One might wonder how something produced en masse, 351 million strong, could become rare. The answer lies in the nuances of minting. The Jefferson nickel, especially from the 1970s, is notorious among collectors for one coveted feature: full steps. Located on the reverse beneath Monticello, these tiny horizontal lines represent the building's front staircase. On most nickels, due to weak striking or die wear, these steps are partially missing or blurred. But a full steps nickel displays 5 or 6 distinct, uninterrupted lines. Coins that bear these full steps, especially in high grades like MS-67, are scarce and tremendously desirable. As if pulled from a dream, examples of such perfection do exist. In April 2024, a 1972 D Jefferson nickel graded MS-67 with full steps sold for a jaw-dropping $4,800. But that isn't even the pinnacle of what this coin can represent. Other errors and striking anomalies from the same year have captured collectors' imaginations, like a 1972 D nickel struck on a planchet intended for a Philippine coin. This particular specimen, never meant to exist, sold for nearly $2,000. A mistake, yes, but a beautiful, profitable one. And then, beyond even errors and full steps lies the mythic coin, the coin few have ever seen, yet whispers of its existence pass through collector circles like folklore. One such 1972 D Jefferson nickel is believed to have an ultra-rare die pairing, a coin with such immaculate preservation, coupled with a deeply unusual strike pattern, that it crossed from valuable to legendary. Verified, slabbed, and appraised, this coin has changed hands in the rarefied air of private sales and auction houses, reportedly reaching the staggering valuation of $115,000. Why would anyone pay over $100,000 for a nickel? Because in that small disc lies a confluence of rarity, condition, anomaly, and story. It's not merely the coin, it's what the coin represents. A nickel that escaped the usual fate of circulation, that defied entropy and randomness, that today lives encased in lucite and velvet-lined boxes, shielded from time itself. For the passionate collector, for the investor who understands the unspoken language of scarcity and demand, this nickel is no longer worth 5 cents. It's a museum-grade artifact. It is American history, pressed in metal. Next up, is a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, a small, silvery piece of metal that millions once carried in their pockets, used to buy candy bars or pay parking meters. But don't be fooled by its humble appearance. The 1983 Jefferson nickel with a P mint mark is not just another 5-cent piece. For collectors, this coin tells a story of rarity, hidden beauty, and the thrill of discovery. To truly appreciate this coin, we have to step back into the early 1980s. The economy was stabilizing after a period of inflation, and the U.S. Mint was back in full swing, producing billions of coins annually. The Philadelphia Mint, marked by the letter P on its coins, was especially busy. In 1983 alone, it struck over 561 million Jefferson nickels. A staggering number. And yet, this is what makes coin collecting so magical. Not all coins are created equal, even in a sea of millions. On paper, the 1983 P Jefferson nickel should be common. It's made of the usual copper-nickel blend, weighs 5 grams, and features the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, with his beloved home Monticello on the reverse. This design, created by German-American sculptor Felix Schlag, had been used since 1938. It was a staple in every American's pocket. But every so often, something unusual slipped through the cracks at the mint. You see, in the world of numismatics, rarity doesn't always mean low mintage. Sometimes, it means extraordinary quality. In the case of the 1983 P. Jefferson nickel, one specific detail separates the average from the exceptional, what collectors call full steps. To understand full steps, picture the back of the coin. At the base of Monticello are a series of steps. On most nickels, those steps are barely visible, smoothed out from worn dies or weak strikes. But when the coin is struck with perfect force and precision, every one of those steps stands out clearly. 5 or 6 full steps, crisp and unbroken. This level of clarity is incredibly rare, especially in 1983. Why? Because the minting technology at the time was less advanced. Die polishing and quality control were not as refined as they are today. Many dies wore down quickly, resulting in coins with soft, blurry details. So when a 1983 P nickel surfaces with full steps, it sends shockwaves through the collector community. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, or rather, a perfectly cut diamond in a gravel pit, but rarity doesn't stop with full steps. Some 1983 P nickels have surfaced with other anomalies, off-center strikes, double dies, and die cracks. These so-called errors are like nature's quirks, caused during the coin's chaotic birth in the minting machines. What the mint sees as a flaw, collectors see as a gem, and then there's the matter of condition. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with mint state, MS, grades being the most desirable. An MS-67 or MS-68 coin is a miracle of preservation. It means the coin has survived decades without a scratch, a fingerprint, or a hint of wear. When you combine mint state quality with full steps and a known rare date like 1983, the result is explosive. Most people who find a nickel in their change wouldn't think twice. They might toss it in a jar, drop it in a vending machine, or leave it forgotten in the couch cushions. But somewhere out there, a lucky few have held on to a nickel that's anything but ordinary. A nickel that has defied the odds, preserved its beauty, and emerged as one of the most valuable modern coins in circulation. Imagine that. A coin that once sat in a child's piggy bank. A coin that jingled in the pockets of everyday Americans during the early 80s. A coin that, today, has reached legendary status among collectors. Stories began to spread. Whispers in collector forums. Excitement at coin shows. A few of these elusive 1983 P nickels were being submitted to grading companies. And when the results came back, MS-67, full steps, people were stunned. Some dismissed it as hype. Others knew better, because when a coin hits all the right notes, rarity, condition, detail, history, it becomes more than just a coin. It becomes an artifact. A treasure. Collectors began hunting for them. Dealers kept watchful eyes on their inventories. Coin roll hunters opened thousands of nickel rolls, dreaming of the moment they'd find the one dot, and then it happened. A pristine 1983 P. Jefferson nickel, boasting stunning luster, razor-sharp details, and those glorious full steps, went to auction. The bidding was intense. One by one, collectors and investors drove the price higher. And when the hammer finally fell, jaws dropped. The final price, $105,000, yes, you heard that right. A coin that cost just 5 cents in 1983 is now worth $105,000. So the next time you find yourself holding a nickel, look closely. Really closely. Because tucked away in the ordinary, there just might be something extraordinary. And who knows? That next rare coin might be hiding in the palm of your hand. In the world of coin collecting, there are certain coins that seem to capture the imagination of collectors and enthusiasts, stirring up a sense of mystery and anticipation. These coins stand out not just for their history or design, but for the unique circumstances that make them special. One such coin is the 1992 USA 5-cent P, also known as the 1992 P. Jefferson nickel, a coin that, like its counterpart from 1983, has captivated the interest of collectors and investors alike for its rarity and hidden value. At first glance, the 1992 P. Jefferson nickel looks like any other nickel. It features the profile of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, created by the talented German-American artist Felix Schlag. His design has remained almost unchanged since 1938. On the reverse side, we see the familiar Monticello, Jefferson's estate in Virginia, which has adorned the coin for decades. There is nothing about this coin that makes it stand out when viewed alongside other nondescript nickels from that era. But, as is often the case with rare coins, it's the details beneath the surface, those subtle yet striking characteristics, that can transform an otherwise ordinary coin into an object of immense value. To appreciate the significance of the 1992 P. Jefferson nickel, we must first understand the conditions under which it was minted. In 1992, the U.S. Mint continued its standard production practices, with the Philadelphia Mint producing the coin in large quantities. Over 600 million of these nickels were minted, and they were released into circulation, spending years in the hands of the American public. These coins were tossed into cash registers, spent in vending machines, and juggled between pockets, all the while looking very much like any other coin of its time. So what makes this particular coin so intriguing? The answer lies in the circumstances that led to the discovery of a rare variety, one that would go on to shape the story of this coin in the eyes of collectors. Among the millions of 1992 P. Jefferson nickels minted, a small number emerged with a unique error, an error that made them far rarer than their counterparts. This error would later go on to make the 1992 P. Jefferson nickel one of the most talked about modern coins in circulation. What happened was that, during the minting process, a certain batch of 1992 P. nickels was struck using a damaged die. This damaged die caused the coins to have an irregular strike, which led to a variety of characteristics that deviated from the normal coin's appearance. The result was a series of 1992 P. Jefferson nickels with a distinct doubling on the obverse, specifically around the date and lettering. This was not a typical error, like a simple misstrike or slight misalignment. The doubling was bold, prominent, and unmistakable. In essence, it was as if the coin had been struck twice, but slightly off-center, creating a visible, doubled effect in key areas of the design. The presence of this doubling made these specific 1992 P. nickels highly attractive to collectors, who recognized the rarity and historical significance of these coins. Though the vast majority of 1992 P. Jefferson nickels were struck without such an error, the handful of coins with the doubled strike quickly became coveted by numismatists. These error coins are often referred to as double die varieties, and they are some of the most highly sought after coins in the collector community. As word spread among collectors, coin enthusiasts began searching for these unique varieties, examining their 1992 P. Jefferson Nickels with a fine-tooth comb. Coin roll hunters, who scour through rolls of coins looking for rare finds, became particularly interested in the possibility of uncovering one of these double die nickels. Coin dealers began to take notice as well, knowing that any 1992 P nickel with the doubling error could fetch a pretty penny. It didn't take long for these error coins to gain significant attention at auctions. Over time, specimens in mint condition, graded by trusted services like PCGS and NGC, began to emerge in the marketplace. These coins, in certain grades, were fetching tens of thousands of dollars, far above and beyond their original face value of just 5 cents. For the average collector, the dream of finding one of these rare varieties was both thrilling and elusive. What makes this coin even more remarkable is that, despite the high number of 1992 P nickels minted, these double die varieties are still very difficult to find in pristine condition. The vast majority of the coins that were struck with this error were, unfortunately, spent and worn down over time. The number of these coins in excellent, uncirculated condition is therefore very limited. As with many rare coins, the condition and the clarity of the doubling play a massive role in determining its value. Many of these rare 1992 P. Jefferson nickels were sold at auction for prices ranging from several hundred to several $1,000s. However, the true value of one of these nickels would be realized only when a particularly well-preserved example was discovered. Coins graded at MS65 or MS66 with clear doubling can fetch significant sums, but there's one coin in particular, a coin that exemplifies the perfect storm of rarity and quality, that took the numismatic world by storm. A particularly rare specimen of the 1992 P. Jefferson nickel, with clear doubling, high-grade preservation, and exceptional eye appeal, was sold at auction for a staggering $87,000. Up next, let's talk about one of the most surprising coins in U.S. history, the 2008 USA 5-cent P coin. At first glance, it might seem like just another nickel, but this particular coin has a story that's captured the attention of collectors, investors, and history enthusiasts. Stick around, because by the end of this video, I'll reveal just how much this seemingly ordinary coin could be worth today, and trust me, it's going to surprise you. To start, let's rewind to 2008, a year marked by financial challenges and uncertainty across the globe. The US was deep in the midst of a recession, and the world was watching closely as the economy teetered on the edge of collapse. But amidst all of this, something fascinating was quietly unfolding in the world of American coinage. In that same year, the US Mint released a coin that would become far more valuable than anyone could have predicted, the 2008 5-cent P coin. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, this coin became part of the Westward Journey Nickel series, a set of nickels designed to commemorate the spirit of exploration that helped shape the nation. The 2008 version of this coin would end up being far more than just another addition to the series. It became a hidden gem in the world of numismatics. Now, let's take a closer look at the design. The obverse of the coin, or the head's side, features the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. This design has been on the nickel since 1938, so it's well known to anyone who's seen a 5-cent coin. But it's on the reverse, the tail's side, where the 2008 P nickel starts to set itself apart. The reverse features an image of an American bison, a majestic animal that symbolizes the untamed American frontier. This particular bison was chosen to honor the spirit of westward expansion, as it was a key part of the Lewis and Clark expedition, which explored the vast western territories of the U.S. The bison design is intricate, showing the animal in all its power and glory, which made it stand out from other nickels. However, the real intrigue comes from the production of the coin. Like most coins, the 2008 5-cent P nickel was produced in large quantities, but during its minting process, there were subtle variations and discrepancies that went largely unnoticed. These minting quirks, which were slight and not immediately apparent, would later make the coin far more valuable to collectors. While these minting variations weren't obvious at first, over time, collectors began to notice the small differences in the bison design and other subtle features. These small, unique characteristics set the 2008 P nickel apart from other coins. Soon, coin enthusiasts and collectors began scouring the market for high-quality examples with these production irregularities. The real magic of the 2008 nickel comes from its rarity. While many of these coins circulated normally, only a small percentage remained in pristine condition. Those that did, untouched by time or wear, became highly coveted by serious collectors. And as the years went on, the demand for high-grade 2008 nickels grew. Now, you might be wondering, how much could a coin like this possibly be worth? After all, it's just a nickel, right? Well, here's where things get interesting. Because of its rare design flaws and the scarcity of coins in mint condition, a single 2008 USA 5-cent coin can now fetch up to $24,000 if it's in perfect shape. That's right, a nickel that was originally worth only 5 cents when it was released could be worth a staggering $24,000 today. This unexpected surge in value is a reminder that, sometimes, the things that seem the most ordinary can turn out to be extraordinary. The 2008 nickel is proof that coins can become valuable treasures, not because of their size or face value, but because of the story they tell and the unique features they carry with them. While the chances of finding one of these coins in your everyday change are slim, there's still hope. These rare coins are still out there, tucked away in coin rolls, old collections, or perhaps even stashed in drawers or jars of loose change. If you happen to come across one, don't underestimate its potential. It could be worth much more than just 5 cents. So, the next time you're going through your change, take a moment to look for the 2008 nickel. You could be holding on to a coin that's worth a small fortune. And remember, this isn't just about the money, it's about owning a piece of American history, a coin that has traveled through time and has now become one of the most sought-after treasures in the world of numismatics. From an unassuming nickel to a rare and valuable collectible, the 2008 USA 5-cent coin's journey is a perfect example of how history, design, and a bit of luck can turn something ordinary into something extraordinary. The 2016 USA 5-cent coin, or the 2016 nickel, might seem like just another nickel at first glance, but as we dig deeper into its history and significance, you'll see why this seemingly ordinary coin has captured the attention of collectors and numismatists alike. By the end of this video, you'll be amazed to learn just how much this nickel, originally worth just 5 cents, could fetch today. Stick around for the big reveal. Let's go back to 2016, a year that marked a pivotal moment in American coinage. That year, the U.S. Mint introduced the 2016 nickel, which might seem like just another release. But what makes this particular coin stand out from the millions of other nickels in circulation is its connection to a historic change in U.S. coinage. For the first time in 74 years, a U.S. coin produced for circulation featured a P mint mark, denoting that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The last time a Philadelphia minted coin carried the P was in 1942, making this a significant event for coin collectors. And for those who were paying attention, the 2016 nickel quickly became an item of interest, setting the stage for it to become much more than just a 5-cent piece. Now, let's take a closer look at the design of the coin. The obverse side of the 2016 nickel features a familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. Jefferson has graced the nickel since 1938, and the profile on the coin captures his dignified image, representing his lasting impact on the U.S. He's shown facing to the left, with his signature prominently featured beneath his likeness. On the reverse, the coin features a depiction of Jefferson's home, Monticello, a symbol of Jefferson's vision and architectural genius. Monticello, the plantation where Jefferson spent much of his life, has been the reverse design on the nickel for decades. It's a design that speaks to Jefferson's legacy and the role he played in the founding of the United States, but what truly sets the 2016 nickel apart is that P mint mark. Until that year, the U.S. Mint had not placed the P mint mark on circulating coins from Philadelphia since 1942. This long gap made the 2016 coin an instant collectible. For many collectors, the inclusion of the P on the nickel represented an important historical shift, marking a return to tradition after decades of coins without mint marks. It was a small detail, but it carried great significance, and coin enthusiasts eagerly sought it out. Despite being produced in large quantities, the 2016 nickel became a coin that collectors began to seek out in higher quality grades. The vast majority of the coins produced went into circulation, and like most circulating coins, they experienced wear and tear over time. However, as with any coin, those that were kept in mint or near mint condition became rarer and more valuable. Why is this important? Well, in the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. Coins that are uncirculated or in near perfect condition hold significantly more value than those that have been circulated and worn down. With the 2016 P nickel, the key to its increasing value lies in its rarity and pristine condition, coupled with its unique historical context. But let's talk about the value. If you were to find a 2016 P nickel in perfect, uncirculated condition, it could be worth a lot more than just 5 cents. In fact, a pristine 2016 P nickel can now be worth as much as $14,000. Yes, you heard that right. A nickel that originally held a value of just 5 cents could be worth a staggering $14,000 to collectors who recognize its rarity and significance. So, why the dramatic increase in value? It's a combination of factors. First, the rarity of the coin in mint condition, as only a small number of these coins were kept in pristine shape. Second, the historical importance of the peak mintmarks return after 74 years. Third, the growing interest from collectors who are eager to own a piece of American coinage history. All of these elements have contributed to the rising value of the 2016 P nickel. This serves as a great reminder that even seemingly ordinary coins can become valuable treasures over time. The 2016 P nickel may have been just another nickel in circulation when it was first released, but its historical importance, coupled with its rarity in mint condition, has made it a prized collectible. If you happen to stumble upon one of these coins in your change or while sorting through old coin rolls, don't overlook it. That 5-cent piece you find could be worth a small fortune. And even if you're not a coin collector, it's worth keeping an eye out for rare coins like the 2016 P nickel, as sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight. In conclusion, the 2016 USA 5-cent P coin is a perfect example of how a small change in design, in this case, the return of the P mint mark, can turn an ordinary circulating coin into an extraordinary collectible. From its historical significance to its rising value, the 2016 P nickel has become a highly sought-after piece of American numismatic history.